Rebel Moon Part 1 will come out on the 21st here in the US and will release in the UK in a week earlier on the 15th on Netflix. And I believe the premiere was on the 7th in London, with people leaving some early reactions. Now, will I actually get a Netflix account to watch this movie and enjoy Netflix for the foreseeable future?
Survey says
That's not likely, players. Survey also says the peak performance route might be more than likely the move, but we are not victims of fate here. So when I first heard about Rebel Moon happening, I was excited that Zack Snyder would finally be able to not only tell an original story with original characters that didn't come with any preconceived notions in the audience heads of what the character is or should be. He wouldn't have any obligations to maintain or adjust his films based on an ever-expanding universe where things can change on a dime. He's basically on the perfect medium to explore his epic vision in depth. We saw him drop a 4-hour movie on HBO Max on one of the most epic canvases of all, space. I think the Snyder Cut again proved that if you give Zack enough time, he can make something exceptional. I think his vision is so epic that he can't and shouldn't be confined to anything less than 2.5 hours. Now, this is where I start to get worried because we know this movie is segmented in 2 parts. Zack, I believe, has said that they have been segmented because the first part feels drastically different in tone than the second part. We have the runtime of part 1 being at 2 hours and 14 minutes, and some of the reviews are leading me to believe this might thrive for some of the things Zack is known to thrive for, but suffer from what typically his movies will suffer from. Now, on most reviews, you will see praise for the visuals and the action. I believe I saw someone say the action reminds them of how Batman fought in BVS, which that was peak action. That was the best Batman action sequence in all of history. I wish it was in a better movie though. That would have made it 10 times more peak. So I'm very happy with that. Okay, the visuals were a given. I mean, look at how beautiful all this is from the trailer. Okay, I was almost bricked up seeing this for the first time. Shit is epic as fuck and ethereal. The scratched and noisy metal on the guns and ships, the weathered environments, the overall textures, the bright blasts and explosions, the glow off of these heavenly bodies, the details on the armor. Zack Snyder is a director and a man proficient, and I'd say obsessed with aesthetic, and I appreciate him to no end for that. Okay, lots of movies nowadays look like somebody wiped their asses with them. The quality of almost everything in this world seems to diminish more and more every day, and to see someone concerned enough to make things look beautiful is refreshing. I haven't seen one of Zack Snyder's movies that didn't look at the very least visually interesting. The cast is also pretty aesthetic as well, not gonna lie. Might have to break my edging streak for this one, player, so you know I mean business. We're seeing them talk about how epic and deep the mythology seems to be, which is always dope to see that the universe has depth to it and is robust. It's not a shallow world. Environmental storytelling is something I've learned to value greatly and I'm really big on now. Where I start to worry is that one of the reviews by my boy Big Chucho, where he says the movie is awesome, that the visuals are of course great, but that some of the characters are not well developed and that the movie feels like a cut version of a truer and larger version of what we should have received. Now, I don't particularly hate director's cuts. I think that they can more often than not provide extra depth to a movie and extend the good experience of a movie. But when it comes to Zack Snyder's extended cuts, I'm completely done with them. I've always had trouble with the fact that it seems this man is given 2 hours and 30 minutes, which some would say is too long of a runtime in and of itself. But when that movie is released and met with mixed reactions, there's always some cut that will make the movie better. Like, we should have had that better movie to begin with. Like, I can't even find the real Batman vs Superman theatrical version on HBO Max. I only see the Ultimate Edition, which should have been what they released theatrically. I think the thing that excited me about Netflix was that Zack would be able, much like with the Snyder Cut, to drop a movie at whatever length he needed and wanted, and been able to tell his story the way he needed to tell it, and I'd imagine it would turn out pretty awesome. But the runtime for this is at 2 hours and 14 minutes. Supposedly, an R-rated cut is in the works with nearly an hour of extra content. I have a feeling this was so that the limited theatrical run would be more profitable, but I hate this. In my experience, a lot of Zack Snyder's movies feel almost incomplete after watching the extended version. Like, that's why, although I really like the Snyder Cut, I think it's really good, but besides a myriad of other factors, if that movie came out in 2017 and was at the exact same runtime as Justice League being 2 hours, then let's say the Snyder Cut in that timeline was 3 hours instead of 4 hours, what would any of that even look like? Would it still be good? Which is why I'm very reluctant to rank it among other DCU films. I just feel like it's in such an awkward space. I want the whole realized movie the first time. I don't think that's too much to ask for. Put in all the elements that make the story work and make us care and make a complete cohesive story. And if you have to release a longer movie with a higher runtime, just do it. Or formulate the film to make it work for your given runtime. Please stop releasing movies and then saying, oh, that was just my practice. This is me when I'm actually trying. Because then what's the damn point of the first movie in the first place? So with Snyder's track record and with these reviews, I am kind of worried for this film. I want to enjoy it. I want it to be awesome because I want a new, fresh universe to be thriving. Truthfully, I never really got into Star Wars. For whatever reason, it just didn't hit me the way it hits other people. I was into The Mandalorian for some time, but I feel like it's taken a dip since season 3 and Boba Fett, and I just really stopped paying attention to it after Boba Fett, honestly. I feel like this universe could potentially be like my Star Wars substitute, and I think that's what a lot of other people feel. So I want something like this to thrive. I love Zack Snyder's visuals and aesthetics and his action. He is the GOAT when it comes to those three things. I just want all of that beautiful stuff tied to beautifully developed characters and a beautifully cohesive story. I'm nonetheless excited to see this movie and this original world. So many movies are just remakes and movies based on some form of books, which I don't mind, obviously, because there's plenty of movies that are based on books that I do like. But if anything you can credit Zack for is always coming through with an original take. So I'm wishing nothing but the best for this movie and this universe, and I hope all the Snyder fans and even the shithead cultists have a great time with this. But let me know what y'all think about Rebel Moon. Are you excited for it? Do you think it's going to be a masterpiece, or are you worried? Do you think it's just going to be kind of fun and an entertaining action movie? Let me know. That's it. If you like the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want, subscribe. I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope all of you guys are well, and I will see you in the next one.